This is Maheshwari, and today we are going to talk about 5 things that you should do to become a better designer. The tips that will make you from an average designer to a good designer in just 5 steps, right? So, the first thing that you should do whenever you are trying to learn design is to start learning the art of mood boarding or the technique of mood boarding. So, mood boarding is collecting your inspirations of design from various sources and studying them that will inspire you to create better designs. So mood boarding is not just collecting your others' work, or mood boarding is not putting together different pieces of stuff that you have done. So mood boarding clearly is a process and it's not just a one-step thing. So you might have to go and look for resources. That's the first step. So not from just one channel, you can go to Pinterest. You can look at sources here. You can go to Behance and look for sources there. You can look at any websites or curated platforms which features design works to look at works, and then you need to start collecting the works that actually inspires you. Now, to do this, you need to have an idea of what should inspire you at this point of time. You might have you might have to do a lot of research on what is the design that is trending, who are the designers who are trending right now, what are the styles that they are focusing, and then try to adapt or look for the styles that they are using, and then try to collect them, study them, and then use that in your mood board. So it's you see, if many of these sites will have an option to save the design, but the thing is that I wouldn't recommend you to do that, because once you have saved it, you might never go back and check that. It's a good idea to save it because you're sort of teaching this platform to you know show you the designs that you like. That's one thing, but then you always have to keep an offline repository. Offline, I'm not meaning that it shouldn't be on the cloud or anything like that. I just said that it should be your own space where you collect these things. So for instance, I'm using a free form here in Apple. So if I am working on a particular project, I'll create a mood board, and whatever design actually inspires me, I will just put them right in here. So this is not in Pinterest. This is where I assemble stuff from various sources that I will just find. Now, the thing that you have to start doing here at this point is that you need to go in deeper. Once you have collected certain stuff, you might have to go deeper, and you have to look at the design that inspired you and try to study that. What is that inspired you from in this design? So is it the typography, or what is that makes this design trendy? You might have find it from a featured site. Why is it featured? Why was this featured? So there is something special about it. Try to learn about that. Try to learn about the typography, the arrangements in this, the think, the thought behind it, the structural integrity of the whole thing. Try to understand that and then try to adapt that into one of the designs that you're doing. It can be a rough work that you do, but just do it and put it out there somewhere. That doesn't have to be a professional job that you're doing, but later when you're practicing a lot on these kind of stuff, it will inform you a lot. There will be certain types of typography that will be used somewhere, and you might think that, okay, this is a typography that I would never use, but it actually works, or it looks pretty good. So what is that makes it good, right? So try to study that, understand this actually takes a lot of time, but it is completely worth it. There is no shortcut to become a good designer. Watching a couple of YouTube tutorials and tools will not make you a good designer. You have to learn to be a designer. So make sure that you are doing your mood boarding really, really well. Now, the second thing that you need to be working on is consuming useful information. So this basically, apart from your design, mood boarding, collecting design works and studying them and all that, you need to actually know about what is happening in the industry. So try to read news articles, updates, try to watch videos and talks from designers, and try to understand what is happening, what is their thought process. Try to understand that and try to use it. Now, it's not that hard to do, right? So there might be several books that is like really, really important for you to study at this point to become a designer, and you cannot skip that, right? There are certain processes that you have to do to become a designer. So there might be like must read books that needs to be there, but see, if you feel that, okay, reading a book is too much for me, I don't want to do that, I need a shortcut, there are even ways to do that, right? So at least do that is what I'm recommending. So for instance, let's say you know this book called Design of Everyday Things. This is something that pretty much it's recommended by every designer out there. If you want to become a designer, you should read this book. But you might not feel like, okay, I don't want to read a book. I am not a reader. I don't want to do that. I just need a shortcut. So what you can do is, with the advance of AI right now, you can just go to ChatGPT or something similar, and then say that summarize the book uh, Design of Everyday Things in simple bullet points. That's it. Here you go. So, whatever is spoken in that book, they just took it and they's given it to you in bullet format, where you can consume this very quickly and you can write notes and you can keep that there. You don't have to go through the entire book, which is not the ideal scenario. I'm saying that if you are saying that, okay, I definitely don't want to read a book, but I want to be a designer, this is the thing that you can do. You can even do this with videos. So for instance, if you find a video just really, really interesting, um, so there is this particular, let's say there is a course or there is a talk that somebody does for about branding, and it's a long video. I don't want to watch that video and try to understand what they say. You can just copy the URL of this to ChatGPT and mention that summarize the important of this video in bullet points. You can do this. So it's right there. So they actually went through the video and they took the keywords of that video, whatever is being spoken to you, and then gave it to you in a concise format. Again, this is not the ideal way to learn, but this is a shortcut which is not that harmful either, right? So it's better to do this than skipping the whole process of consuming good content. So try to learn, read more, because the more you know, the better you are as a designer. The next thing that you should do, and this is something which I really value, is you should have a mentor to actually learn things from. If you are learning by yourself, there are a lot of points where you will get stuck and you will not know what is the direction that you are supposed to take. So if you go to a mentor and who has structured flow of how the design should go, like design learning should go, you should definitely get the help of that mentor. So while you're in an academy, while you're doing a course and all that, try to interact with the mentor, try to get as much as information as possible, try to ask questions. The only way to ask questions is when you are trying to learn something. If you're not trying, you will not have any questions. That doesn't mean that you know everything. You don't know nothing. Like, that's the reason you're not asking questions. So when you have a mentor, try to use them. When you're out of college, there might not be a chance to get a good mentor. So what always try to actually look up at a person and then try to learn design from them, even remotely. That is a good practice. So always try to have or put somebody in a mentor position while you're learning something, so that they will give you good guidance and they will share your experience, their own experience in learning design. Another thing is surround yourself with better people, better designers. So your network actually means a lot. You are the sum of, or you. There is a saying that you're an average of 5 people around you, right? So try to network with more designers, better people in any every sort of aspect, and try to surround, try to sort of like associate with them in design projects and design conversations and taking help from them. And you're definitely going to grow, right? This is what a lot of great academies are doing. They will conduct some sort of entry test and they will take really brilliant people into the academy and they will put them together. There is a lot of conversation happening and they will come out learning a lot of things. So try to actually talk to each other, try to surround yourself with good designers and try to learn from them. This is very, very important. The last thing that I would recommend is that try to practice working on a lot of design tools. no matter what tool it is, if a tool is coming out today, try to get on it and practice it. Try to work on 3D softwares, try to work on Photoshop, Illustrator, vector graphics, whatever it is. Try to practice a lot. And it doesn't even matter what you're making in the beginning. Just try to do something with the tool so that working on the tool becomes a muscle memory, and your time will be spent on more important things like mood boarding and ideating and wireframing and things like that, than figuring out how to do this effect on a tool. So whenever you have time, practice it and do see that's in the whole design process. Working on the tool should take the least amount of time, right? The major amount of time should go on ideating and researching and things like that. You should be able, once you have a clear idea, you should be able to get into a tool and get the output as quick as possible. So I will not actually start doing a design work if I am not sure that I can do that in 15 minutes, right? So I will not spend more than 15 minutes inside a tool, any tool. So that's what I do. So that's something that you have to start practicing, because you can produce more output, good quality output, and you can focus on more important content. So try to practice these 5 things, and definitely you'll see the changes. Thank you, and I'll be back with another video soon.